Picture this. You walk into a Las Vegas casino. Neon lights blaze overhead, the sound of slot machines echoes in your ears, and every corner promises instant fortune. It feels like a movie scene. Energy, excitement, the sense that tonight could be your night. But here's the truth nobody likes to say out loud. You're not here to win. You're here to lose. And the casinos know it. Vegas doesn't survive because a few lucky tourists strike it rich. It thrives because millions of people walk in with the same hope and make the same mistakes over and over again. The house doesn't need to cheat you. It doesn't have to bend the rules. All it has to do is let you be human. Impulsive, emotional, overconfident. And before you know it, your wallet is empty, and you're left wondering how it all disappeared so fast. Maybe you felt it before, the rush of chasing back a bad hand, the thrill of believing a hot streak will last forever, the foggy confidence after a few free cocktails. You told yourself this time would be different. But Vegas has been studying players like you for nearly a century. Every sound, every design, every so-called perk is engineered to push you one step closer to losing. And that's why the city always wins. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on the psychology, the tricks, and the everyday habits that keep Vegas rich and tourists broke. Not rare mistakes, not once-in-a-lifetime blunders, but the 10 real reasons you always lose when you gamble in Las Vegas. By the end, you'll see the Strip in a new light, not as a playground of chance, but as a billion-dollar machine that runs on your weaknesses. And maybe, just maybe, you'll learn how not to fall for the same traps that have fed this city for decades. Reason 1. The chase. Why chasing losses always backfires. It always begins with something small. You sit down at a blackjack table, lose a couple of hands, and think to yourself, I just need one good win to make it all back. That single thought is exactly the trap casinos wait for. Because once you believe you are due for a win, you have already stepped into their game. Psychologists call this the gambler's fallacy, the false belief that after several losses, a win must be coming soon. But here's the cold truth. The cards don't remember. The roulette wheel doesn't care. The slot machine isn't keeping track. Every hand, every spin, every roll is independent. Losing 5 times in a row doesn't mean the 6th will be lucky. It only means you've already given the house more of your money. Casinos thrive on this exact mindset. What begins as a loss of $100 quickly turns into $500, then $1,000. By the time you finally stand up, what should have been a fun evening has become a pit of regret. Vegas doesn't have to trick you, it just lets you chase, and it feels personal. You're not just chasing money, you're chasing pride, trying to prove that you can turn it around. But the house knows better. That's why pit bosses don't flinch when you double your bet after a bad hand. That's why machines flash and cheer even when you only win back a fraction of what you lost. They want you to believe persistence pays off. In reality, persistence is the fastest way to ruin. Think about it. If you walked into a store, dropped $200, and the clerk said, "Don't worry, just spend another $200 and you'll get it back," you'd laugh in their face. But in Las Vegas, people accept that logic without hesitation. Why? Because the environment is engineered to make you believe it. The chase is the first and most dangerous mistake. It doesn't just cost you tonight, it teaches you to repeat the same error next time. And that's how Vegas always wins. The only way to break this trap is simple. Decide in advance how much you are willing to lose. Walk away once you hit that limit. And never convince yourself that the next hand or spin will save you. Vegas doesn't reward stubbornness. It punishes it. Reason 2. The no-budget game. Playing without limits. Most people don't walk into a casino with a clear plan. They don't decide exactly how much they're willing to lose. Instead, they arrive with a casual mindset. Let's see how it goes. And that phrase is music to Las Vegas's ears. Casinos are built to blur the value of money. Chips replace cash, credits replace dollars, and digital screens hide the true cost of every spin. When you slide a $20 bill into a slot machine, it no longer feels like money, it feels like points in a game. That simple trick makes it easier to spend, harder to stop, and almost impossible to track what you've lost. Without a budget, even small wins become dangerous. Let's say you start with $200 and win $50. Suddenly, you feel like you're playing with the casino's money. The temptation is to raise your bets, try bigger risks, or chase a jackpot. But here's the reality. The moment you treat winnings as free money, you're already giving it back. On the flip side, when you lose without a budget, things spiral fast. That $20 loss doesn't sting, so you add another 20, then another. Soon, you're at the ATM in the lobby, withdrawing 200 more with a steep service fee on top. And Vegas has designed it this way. ATMs are placed in plain sight, near tables and machines, ready to fuel the moment when your judgment slips. The absence of a budget isn't just a financial mistake, it's psychological permission. It tells the casino, I'm here to keep going until I run out. And trust me, they'll make sure you do. Discipline is the only real defense. Smart players set a strict limit before they ever sit down. They treat their gambling money like a ticket to a show. Entertainment they've already paid for, not an investment to double. When the money's gone, the show is over. But most tourists don't play that way. They arrive thinking they'll stop when it feels right. Spoiler, it never feels right. The lights, the music, the cheering, it's all designed to keep you in your seat, spending more. In Vegas, no budget means no chance. Without boundaries, the casino doesn't have to beat you, you beat yourself. Reason 3. The drunk gamble. How free drinks cost you thousands. You sit down at a slot machine, and within minutes, a cocktail waitress arrives with a smile. Would you like a drink? It's complimentary. It feels like generosity, maybe even a perk for choosing to play. But in truth, that drink isn't a gift. It's bait. Alcohol changes how your brain works. It lowers inhibitions, slows reaction time, and makes reckless choices feel smart. A sober player might hesitate before putting $200 on a single blackjack hand. But after 3 glasses of rum and coke, that hesitation is gone. The odds don't change, but your judgment does. Casinos understand this perfectly. That's why bars are built directly into the gaming floor. That's why waitresses make sure your glass is never empty. They're not rewarding you, they're softening you up. Every sip increases the chance you'll bet bigger, stay longer, or lose track of how much money has slipped away. Think about the illusion. You feel like you're saving money by accepting free drinks. But how free is that watered-down whiskey when it leads to a $500 loss? That cocktail is the best investment the casino ever made. For the price of a few ounces of liquor, they've bought your foggy decision-making and steady stream of wagers. And it's not just about the alcohol. Drinking on the casino floor creates atmosphere. It makes players laugh louder, cheer harder, and forget that every bet carries real risk. The casino thrives on this looseness, this artificial sense that nothing serious is happening. But your wallet tells a different story. Here's the truth. Every complimentary drink has a hidden price tag. The casino doesn't print it on a menu, you'll see it when you check your bank balance. The smart gambler knows this trick and avoids alcohol while playing, or at least sets strict limits. Because in Las Vegas, the costliest cocktail isn't the one with a fancy garnish at a high-end bar. It's the one you thought was free, delivered with a smile, and charged silently against your bankroll. Reason 4. The ignorance tax. Why not knowing the rules makes you easy prey. Every day, thousands of tourists sit down at blackjack, craps, or roulette tables with only the vaguest idea of how the games actually work. They know the basics: hit, stand, spin, roll, but they don't understand the strategy, the odds, or the traps built into each layout. And that's exactly how the casino likes it. Take blackjack. A player who doesn't know basic strategy may hit when they should stand, or split when they shouldn't, handing the house an edge that didn't need to exist. Dealers aren't going to stop them. Their job is to keep the game moving, not to protect players from their own mistakes. Or look at craps. The table is covered in bets, colorful and confusing. Beginners often place wagers in the center of the layout, the so-called sucker bets. They look fun, they sound exciting, but the odds are stacked brutally against the player. To the casino, that confusion isn't a problem, it's an asset. Even with slot machines, the ignorance tax applies. Most players don't understand paylines, bonus rounds, or payout percentages. They sit, spin, and hope, never realizing that the math is designed to favor the house no matter what they do. And the machines are programmed to make losses feel like near wins, keeping players hooked without understanding why. This isn't about intelligence, it's about preparation. The seasoned gambler walks in with charts, knowledge, and discipline. The average tourist walks in with assumptions. And in Vegas, assumptions are expensive. Think of it this way. If you stepped into a boxing ring without knowing the rules, you'd be knocked out in the first round. Yet millions of people step into casinos every year blindfolded and then wonder why they leave broke. The truth is brutal but simple. Las Vegas doesn't have to cheat. It just waits for you to cheat yourself by not knowing how to play. Knowledge is power. And in Vegas, ignorance is profit. Reason 5. The big bet early. Why going all in too soon guarantees regret. The energy of a Las Vegas casino is overwhelming. The lights, the sounds, the cheering crowds, it all builds up a sense of urgency. The idea that you need to make your mark right away. Tourists walk in brimming with excitement, convinced that one big bet will set the tone for the night. And so, they push $50 or even $100 onto their very first hand of blackjack or spin of roulette. The problem? A couple of bad bets can wipe out an entire bankroll before the night has even started. What was supposed to be hours of entertainment becomes minutes of regret. The casino doesn't need to rig the game, it just needs you to blow your budget in the opening round. There's a psychology behind this mistake. People believe that starting strong will build momentum. A big early win feels like it will carry through the evening. But probability doesn't work that way. Whether you bet $5 or $100, the odds don't change. The only difference is how fast your money disappears. Even experienced players know better. They start small, using low bets to stretch their time and ride out the natural swings of luck. They give themselves space to think, to adapt, and to enjoy the experience. By contrast, the all-in tourist is done before they've even settled in, and casinos love this. The longer you stay on the floor, the higher the odds the house eventually wins. But if you knock yourself out with early big bets, the casino doesn't even need time. You've delivered your losses instantly. Then, desperate to recover, you may chase those losses, doubling down on the very behavior that got you there in the first place. Think about it. Would you walk into a marathon and sprint full speed in the first 100 yards? Of course not. Yet in Vegas, people do it every night with their money. They burn through what was meant to last hours in just a few reckless minutes. In the end, the problem isn't that the first bet is unlucky, it's that the first bet is too big. And in Vegas, big bets too early guarantee small nights and big regrets. Reason 6. The hot streak illusion. Why winning feels dangerous in Vegas. Imagine this. You sit down at a blackjack table, win 3 hands in a row, and suddenly feel unstoppable. The crowd cheers, the dealer congratulates you, and adrenaline surges through your veins. For a moment, it feels like the cards are falling in your favor, like you've cracked some hidden rhythm of the game. You start to believe you're on a roll, that luck has finally chosen you. This is where the danger begins. A player who started betting $10 per hand suddenly pushes 100 across the table, convinced the streak will continue. But here's the truth. Winning streaks aren't magic. They're just random probability playing out in short bursts. The cards don't remember what happened 3 minutes ago, and the dice don't care that you've won 5 times in a row. Casinos know this better than anyone. Dealers are trained to encourage the excitement. Pit bosses smile when the crowd gets loud. The entire environment reinforces the illusion that momentum is real. Why? Because when you believe you're in the middle of a hot streak, you bet bigger. And when the streak inevitably ends, the casino scoops up your larger wagers, erasing the small wins, and often much more. The cruel part is how real the streak feels. The emotional high is addictive, almost more powerful than the thrill of winning itself. That rush convinces you that the next hand, the next spin, the next roll will keep the streak alive. But probability doesn't bend to your excitement. It stays the same, and the house edge quietly grinds away until your lucky run collapses. Think about it. If flipping a coin landed on heads 5 times in a row, would that mean tails is more likely next? Number. Each flip is independent. But in the heat of Vegas, rational thinking melts away. You're not calculating odds, you're riding emotion. And emotion is exactly what casinos feed on. The hot streak illusion is seductive, but it's also deadly. Because in Las Vegas, the moment you believe you can't lose is the exact moment the house knows it has already won. Reason 7. The slot mirage. Why machines are the biggest trap in Vegas. Walk through any Las Vegas casino and you'll see them. Endless rows of slot machines flashing, buzzing, and ringing. They're bright, colorful, and inviting. For many tourists, these machines are the first stop. After all, you don't need to know the rules. Just insert money, press a button, and maybe you'll hit the jackpot. Simple, right? Not exactly. Slot machines are the most profitable part of any casino, generating more revenue than all table games combined. And it's no accident. Modern slots run on random number generators, which means every spin is completely independent. Whether the machine hasn't paid out in hours or just hit a jackpot a minute ago, your odds remain the same, and those odds always favor the house. One of the sneakiest tricks is the near miss. The reels stop just one symbol away from a huge jackpot, making you feel like you almost had it. That almost moment isn't luck, it's psychology. Studies show that near misses activate the same part of the brain as actual wins, keeping you hooked and spinning again. Then there's the myth of the hot or cold machine. Tourists hop from seat to seat, convinced that certain slots are ready to pay. But the truth is harsh. Machines don't have memory, and they're not on a schedule. The only pattern is the steady drain on your wallet. Casinos make it worse by designing slots to blur the cost of playing. You don't see dollars leaving your hand, you see credits, points, or tickets. Betting $3 per spin doesn't feel like $3, it feels like nothing. Until you check your balance and realize you've burned through hundreds. Here's the reality. The bright lights and cheerful sounds aren't celebrating your wins. They're celebrating your participation. Even when you lose, the machine flashes and rings, creating the illusion of excitement. It's not entertainment, it's engineered reinforcement to keep you seated. Slots are designed to look like harmless fun, but they're the sharpest teeth Vegas has. No skill, no strategy, no way out. Just endless spins and guaranteed profit for the house, not for you. Reason 8. The missed comps. How forgetting rewards makes you pay twice. Every casino in Las Vegas runs a loyalty program. They call it a player's card, and it works just like a frequent flyer mile. Every bet you place, whether on slots, blackjack, or roulette, earns points that can be exchanged for meals, hotel rooms, or even cash back. It's the one system designed to give something back to players. But here's the surprising truth. Thousands of tourists never bother to sign up. They gamble for hours, sometimes days, without swiping a card. To the casino, that's perfect. It means they keep every dollar of profit without giving back even a free buffet. Even worse, some players sign up but don't use the card. Maybe they forget. Maybe they believe in myths like the casino rigs the machine if it knows you're using a player's card. That's nonsense. The odds don't change. The only thing that changes is whether or not you get credit for the money you've already lost. Think about it. If you spent $500 in a store and the clerk offered you a $20 gift card, would you refuse it? Of course not. Yet in Vegas, people do it all the time. They leave rewards on the table simply because they don't know, or don't care, or don't want to bother. Casinos count on this laziness. It's why they don't aggressively push the comps unless you ask. They'd rather you play without one, because then every dollar you lose is pure profit. Here's the brutal reality. Comps won't save you from losing. They won't turn the odds in your favor, but at least they soften the blow. A free dinner, a discounted room, or a couple of drinks you don't pay for, it's something. And in Vegas, every little bit counts. Skipping comps isn't just a missed opportunity. It's like tipping the casino for taking your money faster. So if you're going to play smart. Sign up, swipe the card, and take what's yours. Because in Las Vegas, the house already has the advantage. Don't make it even easier for them by refusing free money. Reason 9. The wrong game. Why choosing the flashiest table guarantees you lose. Step onto a casino floor, and the layout isn't random. It's strategic. Games with the worst odds are placed front and center, dressed up with bright colors, flashing lights, and loud celebrations. They're the easiest to find, the easiest to play, and the fastest way to lose. Take Keno, for example. On the surface, it looks harmless, a lottery-style game where you pick numbers and hope for a hit, but the house edge often climbs to 25% or more. That means for every $100 you wager, the casino expects to keep 25. Compare that to blackjack, where a skilled player faces a house edge of less than 1%. The difference is staggering. Or consider the Big Six wheel, a giant carnival-style wheel covered with numbers and prizes. It looks fun, it's simple to understand, and it's terrible for your bankroll. The payouts seem generous, but the odds are stacked so heavily against you that most players lose money before they even realize what happened. Casinos know exactly what they're doing. Tourists who don't want to think, who just want easy entertainment, gravitate toward these games. And that's where the casino's margins are fattest. Even within games like blackjack or roulette, certain side bets carry brutal odds. They're marketed as exciting add-ons, but in reality, they're just another way to drain your chips faster. The layout, the signage, even the dealer's friendly encouragement, it's all designed to push you toward bets that favor the house, not you. Here's the truth. When you choose a game just because it's flashy or simple, you're essentially volunteering to lose faster. The casino doesn't even have to trick you, you're tricking yourself by ignoring the math. Smart players don't just sit at the first open seat. They seek out games with the lowest house edge and stick to basic strategy. That doesn't guarantee a win, but it stretches their money and gives them a fighting chance. For everyone else, the wrong game is the quickest way to turn a vacation budget into a story of regret. Reason 10. The human weakness. How fatigue and emotion make Vegas unstoppable. Step inside a casino, and you'll notice something strange. There are no clocks, no windows, and no sense of time. That's not an accident. Vegas wants you to forget how long you've been playing, to lose track of hours until fatigue sets in. And fatigue is one of the most dangerous states for a gambler. When you're tired, your focus slips. You misread cards, forget basic strategy, and fail to notice how much money you've already lost. The longer you stay, the more mistakes you make, and the casino quietly profits from every one of them. But it's not just exhaustion. Emotion is just as powerful. Maybe you're frustrated after a losing streak, angry at yourself for making a bad decision, or euphoric after hitting a big win. In each case, you stop making rational choices. You're no longer playing the game, you're reacting to your feelings. And emotions are exactly what the casino feeds on. Think about the environment. Fast-paced games, dramatic sound effects, flashing lights, and constant noise. It's designed to keep your adrenaline high and your judgment low. A calm, well-rested player with discipline is harder to beat. A tired, emotional player is easy prey. Even worse, emotions create a cycle. You lose, you get angry, you bet bigger. Or you win, you get overconfident, and you bet bigger. Either way, the result is the same: you hand more money to the house. The cruel truth is that casinos don't need to cheat. They just need to keep you awake, keep you emotional, and keep you playing. Sooner or later, fatigue and feelings will do the work for them. Smart players know when to walk away. They take breaks, set time limits, and refuse to let emotions dictate their bets. But most tourists? They keep playing long past the point of clear thinking, and by the time they realize it, their bankroll is gone. In Las Vegas, the ultimate trap isn't the game itself. It's the human weakness every player carries with them, and the casino has mastered how to exploit it. Las Vegas has never been shy about its secret. The house always wins. It's printed on t-shirts, whispered in movies, and repeated by anyone who's ever stepped foot on the Strip. But what most people don't realize is that this isn't just a slogan, it's the foundation of the entire city. You've now seen the 10 real reasons why Vegas always beats you. It's not just the games, the odds, or the math. It's the psychology. It's chasing losses you'll never recover. It's walking in without a budget. It's falling for free drinks that aren't free at all. It's ignorance of the rules. Betting too big, too early, or believing a winning streak is magic. It's trusting slot machines, forgetting comps, sitting at the wrong games, and letting fatigue and emotions control your decisions. Each mistake might feel small on its own, but together they form a system. A billion-dollar machine built to turn human weakness into profit. And the brilliance of it all? You don't even realize it's happening until you're standing at an ATM, pulling out another $200, wondering how the night slipped away. Vegas doesn't have to cheat. It doesn't have to lie. It just has to let you be human, impulsive, hopeful, overconfident, and then it waits. And that's why the city shines brighter than ever, year after year, even though millions of visitors walk away broke. So here's the warning. If you're planning a trip to Las Vegas, understand what you're walking into. The Strip isn't a playground. It's a finely tuned machine. If you treat it like a chance to get rich, you'll leave disappointed. If you treat it like entertainment, with strict limits and clear boundaries, you'll at least walk away with your dignity, and maybe even a free meal or two. The house always wins. But knowing why gives you the only real power you'll ever have in Las Vegas. The power to say no. To walk away before the city takes more than you're willing to give. Because in the end, the deadliest gamble in Vegas isn't blackjack, roulette, or slots. It's believing that you're the exception.